Welcome back everybody to the Backlog series, continuing with my gameplays of the internal memory games of my creation Famiclone. I think this is game number 10 that I'll be playing today, and I guess you will judge immediately by the name. Today I'll be playing some Pac-Man. Yep, the one and only, the Namco mascot, Pac-Man on the Famicom. This game actually didn't come out, as far as I know, on the actual Nintendo Entertainment System in Europe and North America, but it did come out on the Famicom, on the Japanese version. Actually, it was kind of a typical, common practice, let's say, to port lots of these arcade super classics. Dude, I really died on the first stage. Really? So yeah, it was really common to port arcade titles on the Famicom instead of the NES. I mean, there are some iconic arcade ports on NES, obviously. I mean, there are many of them, but I guess the most iconic of them all, especially from the early 80s titles, they went to the Famicom and not to the NES. I guess because the repetitiveness of those games. They're super iconic, but at the time, I guess, by the time the NES came out, people were not really that interested in just having the super exciting arcade title at home, like it was like the promotional thing of the 2600. And that's pretty much one of the reasons why the video game crash happened. It's basically the repetitiveness of the business in general. It was all about the arcade classics, but they didn't offer anything else. On the other hand, Nintendo was a little bit more ambitious in that sense, and I wouldn't say revolutionized the market, but at least it was more about giving you a more, extensive experience than just playing the arcade hit at home. So that's why I guess those titles stick to the Famicom instead. Like this, Space Invaders, just to mention a few. Galaga and Galaxian as well. Even though I think was one of them, Galaga, I think were ported to the NES, I'm not sure. But primarily they went on the Famicom and then the NES, much later though. So every time I was like looking for lists of actual arcade ports on NES, as such, there weren't too many. And then I realized, or I remembered, hey, I remember Pac-Man or Space Invaders being on the NES, but actually no, they were not on the NES, they were on the Famicom. So yeah, it's kind of a... Again, I just related to the fact of not making the same mistake as, for example, the 2600 made. Even though it wasn't really a mistake, it was basically a limitation. But I guess the NES or the Famicom in general did not want to deal with that mistake again. I mean, they could promote some of the arcade hits, but it was not just all about the arcade hits being played at home. And at some point they become really repetitive. Alright, that was a much better first stage. Let's see if we can at least make it to stage 3 or 4. I don't know if this version actually got cutscenes. It would be really interesting if they actually do have them. Still have to check that out. But yeah, this compilation of the games that I have on the internal memory for the creation clone, many of them are actually arcade ports that came out on the Famicom and not necessarily on the NES. There are a few of them, actually, a couple of them that did come out on the NES. But for example this, I'm not sure I do have Space Invaders in this bunch. Well, Galaga, Galaxian, Circus Charlie, which is super popular in these Famiclones. Came out on Famicom. That was super close. Alright, that might be the chance actually that I've been looking for to beat these two levels. Did I die once already in this run? Oh no, I forgot about this pellets down here. And for some reason I'm having some trouble trying to turn in certain directions. Shit, see? Especially in that last part. Alright, made it. Yeah, there you have it. well, censorship. I don't like it. In all honesty, for me, Pac-Man is fun. Of course, it gets repetitive. But I feel satisfied when I see the couple of cutscenes that it features. Well, I think there were 2 or 3 cutscenes. Another thing to point out, I think this version of Pac-Man feels weird. As in, the maze is not the same size. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But it feels like Pac-Man in general, the game in general, is somehow slower than the original arcade. Which, even though it is fun to play and everything, it feels slow, and that's not really a engaging thing to make you keep playing, basically, in the long term. Fuck! I had it! Would have been cool actually to get that power pellet and finish this level without dying. Again, I'm particularly interested in seeing at least one more cutscene. Again, I don't know how many cutscenes the original Pac-Man has. At least I know that Miss Pac-Man got 2. Sorry, 3. I think so. There's a cutscene for when Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man meets, another one for the baby. Unless I'm missing something in between. I was trying to go down. Trust me. Yeah, if I get a game over here, that would be it. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get very far if I try for a 3rd time. In all honesty. And now the power pellets are not getting really generous anymore. I'm dead. No, I'm not. Somehow I'm not. Fuck! No! I had it actually, but I made the wrong move, I guess. So yeah, that was Pac-Man on the Famicom. Another game of my little collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is, I think, game 10, so I'll be doing a couple more for this little series before taking a break and move on to something else. Oh yeah, we got these names. Wait, did they feature the Japanese names on the arcade, or they just immediately went for the... I think the names are actually completely different. Pinky is the one I'm familiar with, but what about the others? Curious to say the least. Alright guys, see you next time.